Alright, you guys, so let's get right into it. This Warhammer stuff just keeps coming out, and it is some badass stuff, and it is my favorite stuff to cover right now. So, as you can tell, we are getting two new Space Marine bucks, which means that we are going to be getting at least some kind of 3-set coming out of this. And so, as you can tell from the figure, we do get a unhelmeted, or should I say a half-helmeted helmet piece where you can see the hair of the figure. That is pretty dope. And on top of that, we do get these like chest grenades that we didn't get before, so that's a really nice look overall that we'll be getting there. On top of that, where I am seeing that the backpack is slightly different. They also seem to be showing it with this orange kind of plastic, so I don't know if that's to denote that it's going to be a different kind of plastic that they'll be using. But again, we are seeing some definite differences here with the figure. And if there's one thing I've noticed multiple times is that that clip that's inside of the bolter looks like it might be removable, and that's pretty badass. Now, seeing the figure from the front, you can get a better view of that new helmet. It's a completely different style helmet. It's got that rangefinder on the left, and of course the hair exposed, which is very accurate to the actual model pieces that you get in box. And then on top of that, on the right hip, we do see two knives, which is very nice. I think it's very cool that we're getting completely different sets of figures, right? That are equipped slightly differently, which again is very accurate to how the box sets are. And on top of that, we do get that rangefinder on that bolter, which is definitely different from what we see here, where it's more of a normal scope. Now, this one does have that Predator style gauntlet on his left arm, and he does have the antennas, two antennas on his head, which is cool. But my favorite part about this right here is that trinket that we see on his belt. That is something that we haven't seen before on any kind of Warhammer 40k Space Marine figure that we've gotten before. And I think that's so dope because those are pieces that make these figures very unique to their own chapter. And it's finally nice to see that somebody is implementing all these little charms that are supposed to come on these figures to again make them look unique to the chapters that they're from. In this case, most likely the Ultramarines. Now, I'm sure you guys are curious to see what the sizing looks like, and these pictures and photos that we just got were from, I believe Patrick posted them, and then we got some still shots from Damon, and then Damon also added right here a few photos of the actual sizing. So as you can tell, a fully armored figure that would be, you know, a 6-foot tall figure with their helmet and everything only comes up to about the shoulder of the Space Marine, which means the Space Marine is a full head taller, right? So about 7 feet tall, give or take. That is actually really good sizing. It's a nice beefy figure for the 1/18 scale, but there are a couple things to note here to make sure that we're on the same page. If you've been paying attention to Warhammer, you will notice that the Space Marines are basically a full about a full head, more than a full head taller than a regular human. But on top of that, the Primaris Space Marines are a full head taller than even them. So while this sizing is good, they are small. Again, remember, if the Primaris Space Marines are supposed to be even taller than the Space Marines, then these figures that we're getting right here are perfectly sized for, like, let's say a regular Space Marine, but undersized for a Primaris. Now, they're not small by any means. I mean, look at that bolter. It's basically the size of the whole body of that Joytoy figure. So again, it's not small, but it is slightly undersized, and that might be a good thing. That might be a bad thing. That's really going to be up to you to decide whether or not you care. But here's my caveat on that, and I'm going to show you guys a graph of how big these guys should be. As you know, Joytoy makes figures, and they don't always necessarily make a full line. Sometimes they just give us one set, and then they rehash the set in different ways in order for us to kind of get unique characters out of that. And I think that that might be what's going on here, especially considering what you can do with Space Marines. So before I get into that, let me go ahead and show you the chart so you guys can get an overall view of how big these guys are supposed to be. And remember, this is going to be a lot more accurate than you can ever get. But to the very right is a human, to the left of him is Astartes. As you can tell, it's about the size that we have here with the figure that they have shown us, right, head to shoulder. Now, we should be getting something that's in between the second and third body to the right, and that should be about the right size of Space Marine. Now, here's my caveat. If they're going to make one size of figure, right, if they're going to make these Primaris Space Marines, they could easily just repaint them a different color, give them different trinkets to give them different helmets, different little things that make them unique to their chapter, and give us Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Ultramarines, and call it a day, and not give us any other kind of figure for a cross-reference of how good the scaling is. And if they were to do that, then I don't care if they're not big enough, because within their own IP, they will be big enough. But if they are going to give us Xenos and Cadian Troopers and other people of different scale, then it is going to matter to me personally if they make it the right scale. So I'm hoping that if they are going to make them a little too small, and at this point there's no coming back, that maybe they just give us nothing but Space Marines, or only things of that size. But there is a chance that if we do get a Cadian Trooper in the future, that it might be even shorter than a regular 1/18 scale figure from, Joytoy, which would help with the sizing again. It would make the Primaris Space Marines more closer to their size. And then, of course, everything that comes after that, whatever the actual sizing will be. But I'm hoping that if they are going to do a full line, which is what I want, that the scale is done correctly. No one's been able to get it right so far, and I think Joytoy can. Now, on some other news from Joytoy, we are getting the Wildcat ATV. Now, these photos that I'm about to post up in a second, let it slide, were posted by Rudy Wong. He works with directly with Eilina. I'm sure you guys have bought from that store on AliExpress. This is a pretty dope piece. It's ATV. We've seen this kind of stuff before, and it's really cool that we're finally getting it here from the Joytoy line. But my real question, if anybody can help me out here, who is this guy who's writing it? This figure looks super dope and well done. I really like that gun that he seems to come with. I haven't seen any solicitations for him, so if you could maybe send me that, I would love that. But the figure itself, the ATV itself, excuse me, does look pretty dope. It comes with that gun, and here is the minigun, and then here from the front side you can see that it's pretty well made. This is going to look really nice. You probably are going to want more than one, but here's my only gripe about it. The only way to shoot that minigun, as you guys saw in the picture before, is if the figure is not driving and is turned around and shooting, because for some reason this is only a single seater. So I think that that's kind of weird. They should have elongated it enough to be able to fit two figures, because basically the driver would have to stop or put it on cruise control, turn around and shoot, which I think is, I don't know, kind of weird. I think that that was an oversight by Joytoy, and I hope that they can figure that out, because again, I think that that's a little on the weird side, but it's still a cool looking figure overall. I'm definitely going to want one, or maybe two, maybe a whole group. Now here, the next photos you'll be able to see just basically everything it comes with, and you can take off a lot of that, and that's really dope. That right there, just the ATV as it sits, is more than enough for me. As long as I can put a rifle on that back end right there, that brings me back to Battlefield all the way, or should I say Medal of Honor? I don't remember. But again, I think this is going to be a phenomenal piece for you to add. There's just a few little caveats there that for me just don't make sense. Again, maybe that there's a different way to set up that minigun so that you could have maybe somebody riding on that back piece while somebody is driving it. I think that that would make the most sense, right? If they could bring it forward more. But I think anybody that has been waiting for this, you're gonna like it. And with Rudy putting up the pre-orders, that means that very soon we are going to be getting those figures in hand. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you're checking out the Eilina AliExpress online store. Now, before I let you guys go, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. As you guys know, I was waiting for the Hurricane Dual Mode Mecha to show up, and it actually came in about a week early. So I already have it in hand and haven't opened it up yet. It is the mystery model. And so what I want you guys to do is go ahead and give me a comment down below and let me know if you guys think I'm going to be getting the gray model or the blue model. I will be doing a full review on this coming up shortly. I just wanted to see what the community thought before I post anything. And then when I do open up the figure, I will do it for the first time live, or should I say at least on camera in real time for the review. Normally I have this stuff opened up already. I've already seen it before, but I'm actually going to this time wait and then do it in front of the camera so you guys can see my actual reaction to what color I get. So go ahead and let me know in the comments what you guys think, and keep in touch. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, because I will be bringing you guys more news. and reviews and all kinds of content that has to do with this 1/18 scale stuff and more. All right, trial mob, I'll catch you guys on the next